Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be doing my 2021 bookshelf tour. Yes, it has been almost a year since I did my last bookshelf tour. I'll go ahead and link my 2020 bookshelf tour up in the cards if you're interested in checking that out, just so you can kind of compare how my shelves changed over the past year. But I have acquired a lot of new books. I've gotten rid of a lot of books. I have gotten some books within some genres that I didn't used to read before, so I'm super excited to share it with you guys. The way that I separate or organize my books is I have my adult science fiction and fantasy, my young adult science fiction and fantasy, and then I have my classics and then everything else, which is romance, contemporary, mystery, thriller, and historical fiction. I also have a corner bookshelf where I keep my middle grade, some children's books, and some independently published books, and then I have another bookshelf where I keep my overflow Shakespeare and my nonfiction. If you guys are interested in seeing tours of those two bookshelves too, just let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to do it for you. But before we go ahead and get on into the tour, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the little bell icon, so you can be notified every time I post new bookish content. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and sometimes other days throughout the week. Also, don't forget to check down in the description box for links to my social media, my Patreon, and my Buddy Read Discord. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and get on into the tour. The Blade Itself, Before They Are Hanged, and Last Argument of Kings, all by Joe Abercrombie, and this is his first law trilogy. Best Served Cold, The Heroes, and Red Country, also by Joe Abercrombie. These are his standalone books in the first law world. A Little Hatred, and The Trouble with Peace, also by Joe Abercrombie. These are books 1 and 2 in his Age of Madness series. Half a King, Half the World, and Half a War by Joe Abercrombie. This is his Shattered Sea trilogy. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, the complete series. The Bear in the Nightingale, The Girl in the Tower, and The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. This is her Winter Night trilogy. I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. The Handmaid's Tale and The Testaments, both by Margaret Atwood. The Long Price Quartet Omnibus by Daniel Abram. The 12 Kings of Sharakai by Bradley Belier. Senlin Ascends, Arm of the Sphinx, and The Hod King by Josiah Bancroft. These are books 1 through 3 of his Books of Babel series. Foundry Side and Shorefall by Robert Jackson Bennett. These are books 1 and 2 in his Founders series. Between Two Fires, The Black-Tongued Thief, and The Necromancer's House, all by Christopher Buehlman. The City of Brass and The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. These are books 1 and 2 in her Devabad trilogy. Leviathan Wakes, Caliban's War, Abaddon's Gate, Sibylla Byrne, Nemesis Games, and Babylon's Ashes. This is books 1 through 6 of the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey. Something Wicked This Way Comes, The Martian Chronicles, and Fahrenheit 451, all by Ray Bradbury. The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, A Closed and Common Orbit, and Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. These are books 1 through 3 of her Wayfarer series. Childhood's End, 2001: A Space Odyssey, The City and the Stars, all by Arthur C. Clarke, and Alchemy of Masks and Mirrors, A Labyrinth of Scions and Sorcery, The Last Uncharted Sky by Curtis Craddock. This is his Risen Kingdoms trilogy. Dark Matter and Recursion, both by Blake Crouch. Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. Sphere by Michael Crichton. Race the Sands by Sarah Beth Durst. The Queen of Blood, The Reluctant Queen, and The Queen of Sorrow, also by Sarah Beth Durst, and this is her Queens of Renthia trilogy. Kill the Queen, Protect the Prince, and Curse the King, all by Jennifer Estep Arrival and Other Short Stories by Ted Chiang. The Philip K. Dick Reader, which includes several short stories. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, also by Philip K. Dick. Coraline, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, Neverwhere, and The Graveyard Book, all by Neil Gaiman. Sword in the Storm by David Gemmell. Neuromancer by William Gibson. Malice, Valor, Ruin, and Wrath, all by John Gwynne. This is his Faithful in the Fallen quartet. A Time of Dread and A Time of Blood, also by John Gwynne. This is books 1 and 2 of his Blood and Bone series. And Shadow of the Gods, also by John Gwynne. Ship of Magic, Mad Ship, and Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb. This is her Live Ship Traders trilogy. Assassin's Apprentice, Royal Assassin, and Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. This is her Farseer trilogy. Fool's Errand, Golden Fool, and Fool's Fate, also by Robin Hobb. This is her Tawny Man trilogy. Dragon Keeper, Dragon Haven, and City of Dragons by Robin Hobb. These are books 1 through 3 of her Rain-Wild Chronicles. Pillar to the Sky by William R. Forstchen. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. City of Lies by Sam Hawke. A Plague of Giants by Kevin Hearn. Dune by Frank Herbert. Mythago Wood by Robert Holdstock. Wool, Shift, and Dust by Hugh Howey. This is his Silo trilogy. The Stars Are Legion by Cameron Hurley. Gilded Cage, Tarnished City, and Bright Ruin by Vic James. This is her Gilded Cage trilogy. And then I have the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. These are double stacked. The rest of the books are behind this stack here. And I know they're not in order. I kind of just put them there to make them fit, but I'm not gonna take all of these out and show you guys. Nevernight, God's Grave, and Dark Dawn, all by Jay Kristoff. This is his Nevernight Chronicles. The Girl in Red by Christina Henry. And Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. The Poppy War and the Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. These are books 1 and 2 in her Poppy War series. Prince of Thorns, King of Thorns, and Emperor of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. This is his Broken Empire series. Prince of Fools, The Liar's Key, and The Wheel of Osham by Mark Lawrence. This is his Red Queen's War trilogy. Red Sister and Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence. These are books 1 and 2 of his Book of the Ancestor trilogy. Jade City by Fonda Lee. Solaris by Stanislaw Lem. The Lies of Locke Lamora. Red Seas Under Red Skies, and The Republic of Thieves, all by Scott Lynch. These are books 1 through 3 of the Gentleman Bastard series. Taliesin, Merlin, and Arthur. These are books 1 through 3 of the Pendragon cycle. Odd Thomas by Dean Koontz. A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. The Night Parade by Ronald Malfi. Queen of Kings and The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons. And I honestly don't know what this series is called, but it's books 1 and 2 and whatever her series is named. The Kingdom of Liars by Nick Martell. All Our Wrongs Today by Elon Mestai. Promise of Blood, The Crimson Campaign, and The Autumn Republic by Brian McKellen, and this is his Powder Mage trilogy. Sins of Empire, also by Brian McKellen. This is book 1 in his Gods of Blood and Powder trilogy. Blackwing and Ravencry by Ed McDonald. These are books 1 and 2 of the Ravensmark series. The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. Guards by Terry Pratchett. Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, The Hero of Ages, The Alloy of Law, Shadows of Self, and The Bands of Mourning, all by Brandon Sanderson. Arcanum Unbounded, The Cosmere Collection by Brandon Sanderson. The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Oathbringer, and Rhythm of War, also by Brandon Sanderson. These are books 1 through 4 of the Stormlight Archives. Skyward and Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. These are books 1 and 2 of the Skyward series. Mem by Bethany C. Morrow. Sleeping Giants, Waking Gods and Only Human by Sylvan Newell. This is his Themis Files. Spinning Silver, Uprooted, and A Deadly Education, all by Naomi Novik. To Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer. To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Menagerie by Rachel Vincent. Interview with the Vampire, The Vampire Lestat, and The Queen of the Damned, all by Anne Rice. The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. These are books 1 and 2 in the Kingkiller Chronicles. Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. Bloodsong, Tower Lord, and Queen of Fire by Anthony Ryan. This is his Raven Shadow series. The Waking Fire, The Legion of Flame, and The Empire of Ashes by Anthony Ryan. This is his Draconis Memoria series. The Book of M by Peng Shepherd. City of Ghosts, Tunnel of Bones, and Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab. This is her Cassidy Blake series. This Savage Song, An Hour Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is her Shades of Magic trilogy. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Poison Study, Magic Study, and Fire Study by Maria V. Snyder. The Black Prism, The Blinding Knife, The Broken Eye, Blood Mirror, and The Burning White by Brent Weeks. This is his Lightbringer series. The Way of Shadows, Shadow's Edge, and Beyond the Shadows by Brent Weeks, and this is his Night Angel trilogy. The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. Age of Myth, Age of Swords, and Age of War by Michael J. Sullivan, and these are books 1 through 3 of the Legends of the First Empire series. Empire of Sand and Realm of Ash by Tasha Suri. Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, translated by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Dragonbone Chair, The Stone of Farewell, and To Green Angel Tower, Parts 1 and 2, all by Tad Williams. This is his Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. Otherland, City of Golden Shadow. Otherland, River of Blue Fire. Otherland, Mountain of Black Glass. Otherland, Sea of Silver Light, all by Tad Williams. 1,000 Names, The Shadow Throne, Prince of Valor, and The Guns of Empire, all by Django Wexler, and these are books 1 through 4 of the Shadow campaigns. Hyperion and the Fall of Hyperion by Dan Simmons. Contact by Carl Sagan. The Time Machine, The Invisible Man, and the War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. The Martian and Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. Red Queen, Glass Sword, King's Cage, and Warstorm by Victoria Aveyard, and this is her Red Queen Quartet. The Beautiful by Renee Audier. The Wrath in the Dawn and the Rose and the Dagger by Renee Audier. The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. Contagion and Immunity by Aaron Bowman. Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. Nemesis by Anna Banks. The Last Namsara and the Caged Queen by Kristen Cicerelli. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is her Shadow and Bone trilogy. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, also by Leigh Bardugo. This is her Nikolai duology. The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is her Folk of the Air trilogy. White Cat, Red Glove, and Black Heart, also by Holly Black. This is her Curse Workers trilogy. The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. 3 Dark Crowns, 1 Dark Throne, 2 Dark Reigns, and 5 Dark Fates, all by Kendar Blake, and this is her 3 Dark Crowns quartet. Anna Dressed in Blood and Girl of Nightmares by Kendar Blake. This is the Anna duology. The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Better. Passenger and Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. Black Hearts by Nicole Casterman, Rook by Sharon Cameron, Ink and Spark by Alice Broadway, A Great and Terrible Beauty, Rebel Angels, In the Sweet Far Thing by Libba Bray. This is her Gemma Doyle series. The Demon King, The Exiled Queen, The Grey Wolf Throne, and The Crimson Crown by Cinda Williams-Chima. This is her Seven Realms quartet. Flamecaster, Shadowcaster, Stormcaster, and Deathcaster by Cinda Williams-Chima. A Shadow Bright and Burning, A Poison Dark and Drowning, and A Sorrow Fierce and Falling by Jessica Cluess. The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Lost Souls, City of Fallen Angels, and City of Heaven by Cassandra Clare, and this is the Mortal Instruments series. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and this is the Infernal Devices series. Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This is her Dark Artifices series. Ghosts of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare. Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, and Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig. The Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, and The Death Cure by James Dashner. The Girl in the Steel Corset by Katie Cross. Truth Witch, Wind Witch, and Blood Witch by Susan Dennard. These are books 1 through 3 in her Witchland series. The Glass Spare and the Cursed Sea by Lauren De Stefano. Even the Darkest Stars and All the Wandering Light by Heather Fawcett. Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. Caraval, Legendary, and Finale by Stephanie Garber. Scarlet by A.C. Goggin. All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. 1,000 Pieces of You, 10,000 Skies Above You, and A Million Worlds with You by Claudia Gray. Leia, Princess of Alderaan by Claudia Gray. The Mask of the Red Death by Bethany Griffin. Rebel of the Sands, Traitor to the Throne, and Hero at the Fall by Alwyn Hamilton. The Goose Girl and Emma Burning by Shannon Hale. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, The Evolution of Mara Dyer, and The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. Everless and Evermore by Sarah Holland. Roseblood by A.G. Howard. Splintered, Unhinged, and Ensnared by A.G. Howard. The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. Of Beast and Beauty by Stacey J. These Broken Stars, This Shattered World, and Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. The Other Side of the Sky by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. Diabolic, The Empress, and The Nemesis by S.J. Kincaid. Starflight and Starfall by Melissa Landers. Grave Mercy, Dark Triumph, and Mortal Heart by Robin Lefevers. The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. The Valiant and the Defiant by Leslie Livingston. Legend, Prodigy, and Champion by Marie Lu. Warcross and Wildcard by Marie Lu. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is her Lunar Chronicles. Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi. The Orphan Queen and the Mirror King by Jodi Meadows. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. The Knife of Never Letting Go. The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men by Patrick Ness. This is his Chaos Walking trilogy. Delirium, Pandemonium, and Requiem by Lauren Oliver. Sing Me Forgotten by Jessica Olsen. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Crown of Feathers and Heart of Flames by Nikki Pau Prado. The Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal, and The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson, There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole, Heart of Iron and Soul of Stars by Ashley Poston, The Golden Compass, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman, These Rebel Waves and These Divided Shores by Sarah Rosh, Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, and Enchantment of Ravens and Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, The Queen's Rising and The Queen's Resistance by Rebecca Ross, Under the Never Sky and Into the Still Blue by Veronica Rossi, Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant by Veronica Roth, Carve the Mark and The Fates Divide by Veronica Roth, Crown of Coral and Pearl by Mara Rutherford, The Winner's Curse, The Winner's Crime, and The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rukatsky, Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz, Timekeeper by Tara Sims, Bloodleaf and Greythorn by Crystal Smith, Sherwood and Hunted by Megan Spooner, The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily, Lily Blue, and The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, This Mortal Coil, This Cruel Design, and This Vicious Cure by Emily Suvada, and Ember in the Ashes, A Torch Against the Night, A Reaper at the Gates, and A Sky Beyond the Storm by Saba Tahir, Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor, The Fifth Wave, The Infinite Sea, and The Last Star by Rick Yancey, Blood Red Road, Rebel Heart, and Raging Star by Moira Young, Sky in the Deep, and The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young, Fable and Namesake by Adrienne Young, Blood Air by Amelie Wen Zhao, Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, a collection of Lord Alfred Tennyson's poetry, Watership Down by Richard Adams, Flatland by Edwin A. Abbott, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, The Inferno by Dante Alighieri, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, Beowulf, translated by John Earle, author unknown, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgkin Burnett, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer, The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros, The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, The Chocolate War by Robert Cormier, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane, 2 Years Before the Mast by Richard Henry Donna Jr., Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Count of Monte Cristo and the Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, The Lover by Marguerite Duras, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert, Test of the Dubervilles by Thomas Hardy, The Old Man and the Sea and The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway, Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, The Outsiders and That Was Then, This Is Now by S.E. Hinton, The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I really should replace this copy. I keep it because my cat ate it when he was a kitten and I've just never replaced it. It's pretty bad though. A Separate Piece by John Knowles, The Turn of the Screw and Other Stories by Henry James, We Have Always Lived in the Castle and The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux, To Kill a Mockingbird and Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee, Moby Dick and Billy Budd and Other Stories by Herman Melville, The Painted Veil by W. Somerset Maugham, Paradise Lost by John Milton, Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, Animal Farm in 1984 by George Orwell, All Quiet on the Western Front by Enrique Maria Remarque, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, The Jungle by Upton Sinclair, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories by Robert Louis Stevenson, Dracula by Bram Stoker, Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift, The Age of Innocence and the House of Mirth by Edith Wharton, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf, The Guest List by Lucy Foley, The Death of Mrs. Westaway, The Woman in Cabin 10, and The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, Anxious People by Frederick Backman, The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, The Simple Wild and Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker, The Beast's Heart by Leif Shawcross, Girl with the Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, Hood by Stephen Lawhead, The Far Side of the World by Patrick O'Brien, The Reader by Bernard Schlink, The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody, Letters to the Lost and More Than We Can Tell by Bridget Kemmerer, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson, Of Curses and Kisses by Zendaya Menon, Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston, Nerve by Jeannie Ryan, Forbidden by Tabitha Suzama, Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch, Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegman Broca, Wait for Me by Caroline Leach, Fly Girl by Sherry L. Smith, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Up here I have my complete Jim Butcher collection, which is the Codex Alera and Stormfront, Book 1 in the Dresden Files. And then I'm just going to pan through some of my leather-bound classics and some collections I have. I also have my Harry Potter series, and then the 3 companion books, The Tales of Beetle the Bard, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Quidditch Through the Ages. And I got those at Harry Potter World Universal Orlando. All right, you guys, so that was it for my 2021 bookshelf tour. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I had a lot of fun showing you guys all of these books. Let me know in the comments maybe some books that you also own or something that maybe you want to know more about, or just a comment on my collection, and I will see y'all soon in another video. Goodbye.